This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 now. Goddamn. Episode 12 of The Outcast with Buzz and Juice.
The Kirk Heinrich episode.
Oh, man, I didn't even put that together. I am so excited for that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Where's your jersey?
I'm wearing the GOAT jersey today. The second GOAT. Michael Jordan.
Well, based on your Facebook and your Twitter, sometimes it's up for debate for you who your real GOAT is.
That's because my trolling level's high. My trolling level's high. We got a bases loaded show for everybody today. We'll be talking Bulls, we'll be talking MLB, which is, White Sox and Cubs for us because everybody else sucks. And then we'll be talking Bears. Have a very, very special guest on the show today. We have Keith, or a.k.a. Goose, or a.k.a. Bulls Scripted on Twitter. If you guys do not follow him, you need to do that immediately at Bulls Scripted. If you've heard him before, you've probably seen him on Chicago Bullseye with C-Red Fred and everything, talking, everything about the Bulls, everything that's cool about basketball and whatnot. But Keith, welcome to the show, man.
No, thanks for having me. Should be a good time.
Hell yeah. So a couple of things, since we're going to jump right into Bulls for everybody. Right before we do, if you're watching on YouTube, please drop a like, comment, and a subscription on the MVP channel. Also, comment down below and tell us why you hate us or you love us, because I've been enjoying that the last week. If you're listening to us on iTunes, drop a 5-star rating and a comment down below on why you chose to listen to us. If you go to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcasts, you can donate to earn yourself some cool prizes like end up on the show, talk with us, or, other shit. And if you go to mostvaluablepodcast.com, you can buy yourself a cool-ass t-shirt. And then you can learn about us and see the other shows on the Most Valuable Podcast family, such as The Fast Break, which covers NBA, such as The Onside Kick, that covers the NFL, and the Primetime Podcast, which does college football and college basketball. But leading right into the Chicago Bulls today, having Keith on the show with us, we just wanted to get a couple of your opinions on who the Bulls should be looking at 7, what you think about the 22nd pick, and who are your top priorities for the Bulls to grab in this draft.
Well, sitting at 7, it's kind of in the teams in front of us' hands who is going to be there for us to pick. I don't feel an urgency to trade up from 7. Just because in the top 7, if you don't include point guards, the worst prospect by most people's estimation we could end up with would be Wendell Carter Jr., who would fit seamlessly right next to Lowry, good enough rim protector. He's solid at everything. I wouldn't say he has any elite skills other than being elite at being big, which isn't a bad thing. So at 7, I think we should definitely stay where we are and see how the board falls.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. The thing about Wendell Carter Jr. that a lot of people are hating on is they say that he's not good at, or not great at just one thing. He's just good at a lot of things. I don't see how that's a knock. I really don't see how that's a knock.
It's not a knock so much. When you're drafting that high, you want something with an elite skill. Obviously, a player with less flaws than somebody else that's an all-around player isn't a bad thing. If he had more holes in his game, he wouldn't be a top 10 pick. But I would definitely be content with Wendell Carter, and with the comparisons that he's getting to Horford, I'm sure his stock is rising on people's board.
What do you think about that, Juice Man?
I think that he had a very unfortunate run at Duke when it comes to had so much talent on that team. It's really hard to kind of get your touches. I think that he could be a contributor right off the bat too. I'd like to pick. It's just I think that like Keith said, Bull Scripted. It's hard to know who's going to be there too. Obviously we have our picks in Porter and around, but it's hard to know who's going to be available because obviously if Porter dominates his workouts, he's probably going to go before we even get there. So you got to really do your due diligence on who's going to be there and scout it out. And I like Wendell Carter. I think that it's unfortunate that he played on such a stacked team that it's kind of hard to get your touches. I like him. I just don't know, like, obviously the Bulls going into this season, I was excited to get a top 5 pick, but that didn't happen, and I think I'm a little upset that the tank went as it did, and I think that's, like, off the cuff. That's my opinion on if we suffered for Wendell Carter. If he ends up being an all-star, I'll be happy with it, but I I really wish we were in the top 3.
So right now you're just basically saying the optimism isn't there for Wendell Carter on your part.
But I got to see him play, in the NBA. That's a lot of it too.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you've seen this, Keith, but it was rumored that the Bulls had made a promise to Chandler Hutchinson out of Boise State that we were going to take him at 22. So does that lead you to believe that you think we'll get a big man with the 7th pick, or target a big man with the 7th pick?
I think a guarantee like that to a wing that we need regardless of what we pick at 7 really doesn't dictate what we're going to do at 7. The only technical small forward we had on our team last year was Paul Zipser. His contract is non-guaranteed for next year, and he's likely waived for that roster spot. We don't know if they're going to re-sign Nwaba, and that leaves us once again with Justin Holiday, who is undersized for the position, as our only really starting caliber small forward. So picking 2 small forwards would not be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that my main thing, what I really wanted the Bulls to do this draft was to, address the 3 and the 5. Obviously, if people don't know what I'm talking about, the small forward and the center position, that's something that I'm really hoping that the Bulls address, whether it's in the draft. I haven't really looked at any notable free agents that are popping up. Do you know of any notable free agents the Bulls could be looking at this offseason for small forward and or center? I mean, besides DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, I know DeMarcus Cousins is going to be on in the free agent market.
Notable, not necessarily. Jeremy Grant is a unrestricted free agent. He is Jarian's brother. He's a very versatile 3-4, played in OKC the last few years. He's unrestricted, so the Bulls could definitely make him an offer. I think that kind of versatility is the way that the league is going to. You need to be able to guard more than one position with all the switches that happen. And I think Jeremy Grant fits that mold, and he also fits the young and athletic mold that we're trying to move towards.
Yeah, I could see that. I just pulled it up just on Hoops Hype just for shits and giggles, and I'm looking at, we got Wilson Chandler with a player option, Mario, how do you say that last name? It's not Hinoja. Yeah, Hezonja, thank you, Hezonja. I always get him on my 2K team, but he's up, and he actually finished the year off strong last year for Orlando. Doug McDermott is on here. I don't know. When it comes to the young thing, I don't know. I don't like Jarian very much, and I know his brother is not him, but I did watch him play in OKC, and I mean he seems to know how to move without the ball pretty well. He can be there and he can hit a 3. And he did play the small ball 4, which is pretty enticing. Moving Lowry even over to the 5 would be intriguing. But there's one name on this list in the free agency, and it's very rare that you see this, but it's a restricted free agent that probably won't be matched, and it's going to be Jabari Parker. Now, what would you offer? What do you think you would offer Jabari Parker? Would you even offer him anything, or are you just done with the torn ACLs in this city like I am?
Pretty much on that page. I don't think you want to build on Zach LaVine and Jabari Parker. That's 3 ACL surgeries between the 2 of them. Luckily, Zach only has 1, and he looks to be in a good place. He's working out every day. He's making sure that his body's ready for the abuse that it's going to be taking to avoid further injury. 2 ACLs and 2 contracts, probably upwards of $15 million each, just doesn't fit what I think they should be aiming towards at this point in the rebuild.
Right, I agree with that wholeheartedly. So, like I said, going back to the promise to the wing and Chandler Hutchinson, I don't know if you've gotten to watch any tape on this kid, but I actually did a bunch of research. I wrote an article for Sports Mockery about this. This kid can move without the ball. He can catch and shoot. He's athletic and he can defend. He is 6'7", but he's got a long wingspan. And he's got a bigger frame to him. If the Bulls decided to go the route of taking Chandler Hutchinson, and you had a gun to your head here, obviously DeAndre Ayton, take DeAndre Ayton off the board, Marvin Bagley off the board, who is the big man that you want the most? Because the reason I'm asking this question too, just to get it from you, is we had a lot of our viewers on YouTube ask who would be the big man that we would want to take at the 7th pick. So gun to your head, who are you taking with the 7th pick if your Wendell Carter is there, your Mo Bamba is there? Shit, I mean, yeah. Who would you take between those 2?
My biased opinion on that is Bamba, and that's based solely on the fact that I think he hides Lowry's greatest weakness as a rim protector better than any of them do, and most teams build around their best player. Now, I could also make an argument for Jaren Jackson Jr., who may be the most upside pick. He's the youngest lottery pick, and he probably fits Hoyball better than any of the other bigs.
Yeah, I could see that.
So take that for what you will.
Yeah, I could see that. See, the thing with JJJ that just made me nervous is when I was just watching tape on him, sometimes at Michigan State, playing alongside Miles Bridges and all the other boys on Michigan State, I just felt like he got lost sometimes, and that was the thing even on the offensive end. I think that his footwork is pretty good for a big man. I think that he can, I like that he could shoot the three. I do like that from JJJ. He can hit a midi. It's just I feel like if we did get JJJ, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know who a good comparison for JJJ is. Do you have a good comparison for that?
Kevin Garnett. They actually look the same. Their rookie year, I compared Garnett's senior year of high school and JJJ's freshman year. Obviously, Garnett went straight to the NBA. Oh, no, I compared Garnett's rookie year to JJJ's freshman year at college.
Oh, wow.
Garnett went straight to the NBA from high school.
Right.
And their numbers are pretty comparable. And obviously, you can break that down however you want. But I do think he has that kind of ability. It's just a matter of if he has that kind of dog in him that Kevin Garnett had.
And see, that's exactly what you just said, that kind of dog in you. I don't know if you, I'm sure you did see this, but Mo Bamba seems like he wants to, and I'm on the train with you, man. If Bamba's there and MPJ's not, I'm taking Bamba all day. I'm not entertaining anything else. But Bamba seems like he wants to get better, and it seems like he's really working on his jump shot. I understand he's, he doesn't weigh a lot. I know he's like, what was he, like 205 pounds? I understand that, but this kid's got an 8-foot wingspan. That's insane. That's insane, and he's working on hitting a three-pointer, and he didn't have too bad of an offensive game at Texas. He was able to, get in there, post up, hit a couple hooks, but that comes in time, too, when you have a raw project like that. So I'm just curious.
He works out with the same trainer that prepped Jason Tatum for the draft and fixed Jason Tatum's shot. He's the same trainer that works with Embiid. His name is Drew Hanlon. He's pretty much a master, a guru. I can't think of the name of the link or the exact name of the podcast to the link that I shared, but there is a very long, in-depth interview with Bamba that I'll link you to later. So he's making progress in the offensive field. That is all he's been working on. But I'm kind of curious, Juice, out of the big men that could be available, who are you thinking?
See, for me, if Bamba's there, I've always been a Bamba guy. In the recent, I have seen a lot of Triple J, and I love the way that kid plays when he's playing with, ferociously. I'm high end on him if he falls, because I think for the Bulls that's a good pick, because you're going to need a guy like that who's going to come out there and play with that when he's out there. It's tough to rank these guys based on playing in college. It's tough, and we haven't seen as many. Obviously, they're doing the workouts. I haven't had the most time to watch the draft combine or anything like that, obviously with work and with my health issue. But I like Triple J. I like Bamba. And my third, I'd probably have to go Wendell Carter after that. That's probably my three.
I think that'd probably be everybody's three. Interchange JJJ and Bamba, and they could be one or two, but obviously besides Ayton and whatnot. But honestly, I know a lot of people are going to judge me for this, but I would actually take Bamba over Marvin Bagley. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's what I would do. I don't think there's much of a Marvin Bagley had really good college stats and everything like that, but he was in a really good Coach K offense that runs, and honestly, like Bagley, with the numbers that he did have in the big games, Bagley was a second option to Grayson Allen. And I got numbers to back that up. I don't know. Bagley, he just seemed to lack the killer instinct to me. And I know it's early in college and everything like that, but Bamba, man, I like him a lot. I like Wendell Carter Jr. a lot. I like JJJ. I would not be upset about any of those picks. But moving into that 22nd pick, so hypothetically do say that we take a big with that 7th pick. Are there any wings, that you would want to move up for? Maybe package the 22nd and a player maybe to move up a few picks, or is there any wings at 22 that we could possibly get that you're intrigued by?
There's plenty of wings at 22 from prospects that are 19, like Troy Brown out of Oregon, to prospects that are 22, like Hutchison, or 21, I believe. Keita Bates-Diop is 21, but he may be turning 22. Then there's also a prospect out of Tulane that was at the Combine, Melvin Frazier. Kid seems to love defense. During his interview, he just exuded, defense is my natural ability. I love defense. I love to play defense. I need help with the shot. He's 6'6", has a 7'2.5" wingspan,
Ooh.
and I think he would be a steal and the kind of player that is just dedicated to defense, which I think a lot of people underrate in this age of NBA. We have Zach LaVine. We have Lowry Markkanen. The only shoot first, score first player in this draft that would probably succeed either LaVine or Markkanen would be Michael Porter Jr. So I think people need to kind of think about that when, trying to pick a prospect. You got to think of the impact they're going to make at their specific role.
Right, I agree with that wholeheartedly. See, that's how I kind of figured it too. Like even having Lowry, having Zach, and I'm stated on here before, obviously, that I'm not sold on Zach LaVine. I understand people always come at me, well, he averaged 19 points per game while he was a third option in Minnesota. Fantastic, that's great. He was also a third option in Minnesota behind, Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins at the time. So there's a lot more attention going to those two. Zach LaVine does have a really great offensive game. I just don't like the lack of hustle on defense from Zach, and I also don't like his sometimes I don't like his playmaking abilities. I don't like that Zach. I feel he doesn't look to get his teammates involved, and I feel like he did that a lot with Chris Dunn last year, and that's something that really annoyed the shit out of me. It seemed like they were playing out. I actually went off on this like episode 4 or something like that. I felt like everybody was trying to play alpha dog when they were in together. Like, how many games did we get? 11 games with the starting lineup intact with that team last year. And I felt like it was a fight each and every time between Chris Dunn and Zach LaVine on who was going to create for the rest of the team. But with Michael Porter coming in, I do like the idea of a 3 as Michael Porter, who's got ball handles, who could bring the ball up the court, who could pass. He could do a little bit of everything. He could shoot, maybe, taking the reins a little bit and holding that down. But I wanted to ask your opinion on Zach LaVine. I know I didn't put this in our cool outline. Do you think that he could be the the shooting guard of the future?
Oh, I most definitely do. Zach has elite offensive skills from first up to jumper to athleticism. He does fall asleep off the ball on defense. His on ball, he actually in 10 minutes less had the most steals. Obviously, it's a smaller sample size than a full season, but he averaged more steals per game this year. So on ball, when he's engaged, not a problem. Off ball, kind of selfish, kind of slacking off, kind of playing like LeBron, trying to conserve energy, and that does have to change. As for the alpha battle, that definitely was going on. Chris Dunn sure-handedly took the lead of the team while Zach was out, and they went on that run. People like to attribute Nico. Chris Dunn was huge when he got switched to the starting role initially and really took over control of the team on both ends of the floor. So there was a power struggle, and that definitely has to be figured out in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm on the opinion with that they're so young that just needs to work itself out, and it's gonna as they play together more. I think that's my opinion based on. I mean, they didn't play much together to begin with. I know when they didn't play up to our standards. But I just think that it's a situation where people need to play together more to know what people like to do and know where they want the ball, and then they can work together to kind of. I think next year we'll see a lot more of if it works, if it doesn't, because I think last year we didn't see him on the court all together a lot.
I think you made two very great points there, Juice. One, they didn't play much together. They didn't play in preseason together. Zach is in a new offensive system. So was Dunn. So was Lowry. The whole entire team was pretty much brand new. The other guys got chemistry. Zach did not. And I also like how you pointed out, it's not really the worst thing to have three guys that want to be the alpha.
Absolutely.
It creates competition. Obviously, it was ugly last year because they were doing it in the game. But having 3 young players ultimately battling for that spot to be the guy of the Chicago Bulls only, I think, benefits us in the long run.
I can see what you mean by that, man, but there's where I disagree with having 3 alphas. Besides, Chris Bosh was no alpha. Dwayne Wade took a back seat. LeBron was LeBron. We all know that. I just don't know with the coach that we do have. And listen, I like Fred Hoiberg. I like the mayor, man. That's the mayor. I like Fred Hoiberg. I just don't know if he can control egos, and I not that Lowry will have an ego because he just doesn't seem like that kind of kid. I'm nervous about Dunn and LaVine. I watched the interview with Mark Schanowski. It just made me feel weird. Like they're like, well, I'm ready to lead this team. And then LaVine's like, well, I'm ready to lead this team. And then Dunn comes back with another statement, well, I'm going to lead this team. And I'm just like, holy shit, man. I'm like, these guys, like, do they not like each other? Like, I don't really get it. Like, you don't have to like your teammate. I understand that. I get that. I mean, obviously you could still win by not liking your teammate. But I just don't know if we have a coach capable enough of rounding that in before it's too late. And that's my whole thing. Everybody's like all wanting to give Zach LaVine, if he does get offered a max contract, which if he does, wow. If he does, I'd be shocked. But if I'm the Bulls, I'm not matching that. I don't know about you, I'm not matching that.
I don't think he'll get that kind of offer. There's probably a very short list of maybe 3 teams that could possibly do it. I believe the Lakers, the Mavs, and maybe the Nets could offer him that. I don't think any of them are quite that desperate. Maybe the Lakers will be if they swing and whiff on Paul George and LeBron James. Maybe they'll see young Kobe that they want to try to swoop up on in the opportunity. But I think Zach will be here. I think he'll get a deal somewhere between $15 and $18 million per.
Right, and I think that's actually a fair deal.
I think.
Yeah, I do think that's a fair deal. I want Zach to succeed so bad here because I actually dig his offensive game. I like that he can come off screens, pull up, and hit a 3. I like that he can come off screens, create for others. I like that he can, create, like you said, off the first step. I love all that. His defense, I would like to see a little bit more work on, and just media relations stuff is what I want to see more work on with him. I don't want to see the struggle. That's just something that drives me crazy. But just one more thing I want to talk about with you about the draft is Kevin Knox or Mikal Bridges. And if you guys don't get why I'm asking him this question, is because me and him, we've gone back and forth a million times. We actually agree with each other, but we've gone back and forth with other people on why you don't think Mikal Bridges is worth the 7th pick, or even the 7th, 8th, or 9th pick.
We start getting back to 9 or 10. I could debate it, but I'd still prefer Knox. Knox has the most size out of the small forward prospects. Knox has the most upside out of all the prospects. He's the 2nd youngest potential lottery pick outside of Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he has the physical tools. I think he has the character. I think he has the work ethic. I think he comes from a good pedigree. And I think by the time he's 21, 22 years old at the end of his rookie contract, he will blow Mikal Bridges out of the water.
See, I agree wholeheartedly with that. And the reason I do is I did a lot of research on Knox. And, because I'm not a big Kentucky guy. I'm not a big Calipari fan, which shocks a lot of people every time I say that. I don't like John Calipari. I think it's his face. I'm not exactly sure. But watching footage on Knox, creating off the dribble, getting your teammates involved, the big body, the sweet stroke, with his jump shot. I honestly agree with you. The athleticism that he shows. If I'm looking for a 3 that could possibly play small ball 4 and be a dynamic scorer at that with already a big body, that's a super intriguing thing for me. We'll see how the rest of this combine stuff goes. I just don't. I wouldn't be past taking him at 7 either. And that's being honest to God right now. I think that he might be special. Like, there might be something special about him. And what we went back to earlier about Mikal Bridges, I just how small he is, man. You can have that grit and everything like that. And I know this is Juice's guy. Juice does love Mikal Bridges.
Well, there's some at 7 now that I know where we're at.
Yeah.
I'm Knox guy, but when it comes to Mikal, when I thought that when we were winning games early on when we started the podcast, and we were going to be within 11 and 10, I was like, okay, Mikal Bridges 3-and-D, I can live with it. But now that we're towards 7 here, we actually lost a decent amount of games down the stretch. I'm all about getting potential, and we all listen to the press conference at the end of the year, they're going to draft on potential, and Knox does have that potential. And after watching his workout, one of the only workouts I did get a chance to watch in the Combine, I'm a big fan of this kid. And when it comes to Calipari, he just seems to get players ready to play in the NBA. I like the kid.
Do you like Calipari's face?
I'm actually a Calipari guy.
Oh, okay. I don't like Calipari's face.
Well, if you both like Knox, I would say Knox is a reach at 7. But there is a team in the New York Knicks that seems to have a small obsession with a small man named Trae Young.
Exactly.
If he is available at 7 for the Bulls to take and then trade to New York for the 9th pick and maybe a future first with a small protection, or they even have our 2nd round pick that we traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder traded to the Knicks for Melo. That's 36. So we could potentially trade back from 7 to 9, still get Knox, and then add a 36th pick.
Right, which would be awesome. And then it might be a reach at 7. I agree with you. I'm just saying what I would do if I wanted a small forward that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I like Knox over Mikal Bridges. But that would be sweet, man, if we did trade back, add another pick, and then maybe get to 22 and maybe snag somebody like a Mitchell Robinson or something like that. That would be pretty tight because I think that kid's going to be good too. So there's just so many possibilities with this draft and everything like that. And when all the numbers break down, obviously I'm going to tell everybody now, like if Michael Porter Jr. is there, I'm all about it. But as time keeps going on, I don't think he's going to be there. Do you think that Michael Porter Jr. will be there at 7?
The only way he's there is if he works out for the Bulls first. They give him a guarantee, and that's where he wants to be, which I think doesn't. It'll happen if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, he will work out for everybody and get the most money possible, because the difference between 3rd and 7th is several $1 million.
Right. Right. I just, man, the confidence he had.
Unless he leverages himself to the Bulls, he's going in the top 5.
Well, it seems like everything he's done within social media is kind of trying to leverage himself toward Chicago. I mean, tagging himself in Chicago everywhere, the Chicago Bulls hats everywhere, the responding to Bulls fans type thing on Instagram. I don't know if you saw that, but he did respond to a couple of fans. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, that'd be dope, that'd be tight." Obviously, he's going to be getting drafted by an NBA team, living out the dream.
I don't look at his Instagram very much, but is he doing that for everybody? Like,
I don't know, dude.
That's something to look. See, okay. See, then that adds a little gas to the fire. There,
I'm also seeing what
there's fire.
I'm also seeing what I want to see too.
Right. I'm saying if you're scrolling through, if he posts a mirror pic or something in the bathroom in Chicago, and like people are commenting, like let's say like a Mavs fan or like a Grizzlies fan is like, "Hey man, love to see you in Memphis, love to see you in Dallas," like. Is he commenting to those people too, or is it just strictly Chicago?
Well, fun fact, there are no Memphis Grizzly fans.
Well,
I was ignorant. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just joking. Oh my God.
I'm bringing up a good point here, though.
No, you
got to really go
are.
through here. And
I wasn't thorough about watching his comments and everything like that.
You see, you coming at me like that, and you're not even doing due diligence. No, I'm just kidding with you.
How did I come at you? What did I do? Oh, the Mikal Bridges thing? You do like Mikal Bridges.
I like everybody.
I like everybody too, man.
I like everybody.
We are not. I'm sorry, we're not screwing this up, man. Like, I'm ready. Like, there's one more team that I need to see win, and obviously it's the Bears. I need to see them win a Super Bowl, and I could die a happy sports fan. But I want to remember. Like, I remember watching Mike play with my dad, when I was 7 years old, and my dad had season tickets. Fun fact, we lived in a trailer with no air conditioning, and we had Bulls and Bears season tickets. Fantastic. Priorities. But I want to be able to remember, I want to be able to remember this. And I think that if we get this draft right and we make something, like we do something right here and we get a potential star, because this is a pretty deep draft.
Right.
If we get a potential star to pair along with our potential stars, I think we can go real far here. You know, like that's why I'm not so upset about the Chandler Hutchinson thing. Everybody's so upset about how we guaranteed to draft him. If you do a little research, this kid could play ball, and he's old, like he's 21. He's got a big body. He could shoot. You know, that's just where I'm at with it. I don't know where you guys are, but that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, people just like to attack the Bulls for drafting older prospects. What people don't realize is once you get to the 20s, like Kyle Kuzma was for the Lakers, he's an older prospect. That's what you start getting to. The 18-year-old, 19-year-old, one-and-done players with all the high upside out of high school go in the lottery. Once they're gone, that's when you start getting the 3- and 4-year players that were there for a while, and that's also where the teams that are already in the playoffs, and that's why they're picking there, take those players because they need immediate help. They don't have time for projects.
Right, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm not wrong, but Kyle Kuzma was first-team all-rookie this year. You know, like, I mean, that's fantastic. You know, like, you could find good players down there, man.
And that's why I don't worry about the 22nd pick, because historically the Bulls have been pretty good at the bottom of the draft.
Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler. I mean,
so I have full faith that they're going to do pretty well down there and take a guy who's going to be a contributor.
And they had the greatest of all time drafted at number 7. This draft is huge. Why are you getting mad? Why are you upset? Kirk Heinrich. 7th pick, 2003 NBA draft. Show 12, episode 12. Kirk Heinrich. But I mean, no, seriously though, at the end of the day, like the 7th and 22nd pick here, we have, you know, and I'm a believer in John Paxson. I've said this before. I don't like Gar Forman. And the reason I don't like Gar Forman is because he's like that guy who doesn't know how to talk to people. And he has a punchable face. His face is 100 yards long. It is, dude. Like, you get mad, and I'm telling you.
He does look like the Penguin in the 90s Batman
he
movie.
does.
Oh, my God. I'm going to Google that. I know they can't see when I Google things, but that's fantastic. That's going right on your Twitter wall, my friend. Do they call it a Twitter wall? What do they call that?
That was Danny DeVito, was it not? In the
90s?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Oh my
Full
God.
circle there.
Yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed that. Oh man, Gar Forman does kind of look like that. Oh my God.
So Keith, just to dive in real quick, maybe we'll do some little NBA here, NBA playoffs.
Absolutely,
talk.
let's hit it.
Let's just hear your thoughts first on that Boston Cavaliers series. I know LeBron's down 3-2, and now all the excuses with him being tired are coming out, and he has no help. Well, I'm on the opinion that LeBron James is the GM over there, essentially, and he put himself in that situation by, you know, trading people out and not making moves that maybe, you know, that were out there, and he's got his people and his crew, and he kind of influences who plays with him and who doesn't. I just want to hear your thoughts on the series and who you think is going to win this one, because obviously this is far from over the way Boston plays on the road.
I think Game 7 is going to be one hell of a game, and I think it's a game that basketball needs. Last year we had sweeps through both sides, and it was a very uneventful playoffs until we got to the end. So it's good to see that both the conference finals are at, at least somewhat even. We were at 2-2 until last night. I think it goes to 7, and I really can't tell you who I think wins. Boston at home hasn't lost. LeBron tends to clam up a little bit in pressure when he doesn't have Dwayne Wade or Kyrie Irving. And I agree with you in the sense that LeBron is definitely the reason why he has the situation that he has, but Kyrie definitely blindsided him by wanting out of it.
100% agreed. Yeah, 100% agreed on that.
I just feel bad for you right now because you just hated on LeBron, and now you're going to get so much hate. It's going to be awesome.
We do too, though.
Hey, look,
it's okay. My
Goose.
feed is still blowing up from the other night when ESPN put up a stat that said LeBron has 4 40-point games against the Celtics, and then in parentheses, Jordan had 3 such games. You know how many games LeBron has played against the Celtics?
It's been like 30. It was like probably 38, correct? Like 38 to 40 games, right?
38 for LeBron, 6 for Michael Jordan.
You see what I mean? Like that. I don't know. Do you get a lot of your information just while we're talking and bullshitting? Like, do you get a lot of your information from like? Do you watch a lot of ESPN? Is that like your channel of choice?
It's my channel of choice for humorous content. I like to see what they're talking about so I can make fun of them. It's not a informational source by any means.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, well, you know what, Keith? That's blasphemous. That's S9, S10, S11. Yeah, I'm with you, but I can't stand to sit and. To me, ESPN is the master of creating a story. They create a narrative. If it doesn't follow their narrative, they build up stats and throw things that make no impact on the game at all to make sure that it fits what they've been promoting for the last 10 years. And to me, and I'm going to say it, LeBron James is 100% in that boat that ESPN has backed him 100, and that's okay. You know, I get it. He's the best player in the league. He has been for a long time. But you're right. The stats that come out and the things that get put on on Twitter and the things that Stephen A. and Max Kellerman say on First Take, it's hysterical. Well, it's good content.
Speaking of that, though,
like people think Barstool Sports is funny. Like ESPN is hysterical.
That's true. But speaking of that, though, you saying that, you know, everybody was always, you know, like, oh, it's all about LeBron and stuff like that. There was one man that stood up against that and stayed with the real GOAT, and they shipped him off to Fox Sports 1. Poor Skip Bayless. You know, like, I don't know, man. Like, I watch a lot of the sports
Skip's
talk.
Pure comedy, though, too.
What was that?
Skip's pure comedy, too. Skip's new thing is praising LeBron, saying that he's going to do this so that when LeBron doesn't do it, he can just take a dump on him. That's Skip's new thing.
Spin zone.
Dude, I have literally completely checked out of ESPN and Fox Sports and all of that, like where I literally just watch our local stuff here on what, it's not Comcast Sports anymore, it's like NBC Sports. Yeah, NBC Sports Chicago. Yeah, like that's, I watch like Cap and them, man, and then I listen to the radio. Like I walk around with my little, you know, a lot of 670 The Score. Shout out our friend Danny Parkins. It's just, man, ESPN's so bad. It's so bad.
No, they are. They're very biased. The only radio show that I used to be able to take seriously was the Russillo show, and then he got replaced with Will Kane, and that's just a little too much for me.
Oh, yeah, Will Kane, he's something else, too. He was arguing with Vincent Goodwill today on Twitter. They were going at it again, which is just fantastic. But
I will have to go check that out.
Yeah, you have to check that out. Are they on now?
No. Well, Keith, keep going with that. Now that we've laid out our whole LeBron feelings and ESPN and kind of sidetracked, let's go to the other series in the West here with Golden State and the Rockets. To me, this is great basketball to watch. I enjoy watching two different styles of basketball being played and both of them getting to the same result, kind of essentially. Obviously, Golden State moving the ball around as they do, and the Rockets play a lot more, obviously, ISO one-on-one. What's your thoughts on that series? If you got a prediction you want to come out with, you don't have to, because obviously I think this one's up for grabs too, especially with the way the rest of the home games play out here.
I think the Warriors are going to pull it out. I actually have a feeling that both of these games are going to go to 7. Almost just for pure entertainment. And then I think we're going to end up with exactly what we thought we were going to get, which is probably going to be Cleveland and Golden State in the finals. So
damn it.
That's just my feeling. It's probably because it's happened the last 3 years that until I see something different, I'm not going to believe it. So, but it is a great series. I love watching Golden State. They play team basketball. They're the epitome of team basketball, versatility, and playing together. And that's fun to watch, even if you hate Kevin Durant.
Well, I'm surprised you said that about I actually have them going to Game 6. Like, I think that the Warriors pull out these last two games and it's done. But you didn't ask me, Juice, you already got my pick on Boston and Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
We did this a long time ago.
We did. We did.
I've been here for an hour, and I'm already causing jealousy. I'm sorry, boys.
Yeah, you better stop. Well, I actually love you. Your voice is fantastic. You have a radio voice. Mine's kind of squeaky, but whatever. No, I actually, with this whole series going on with Houston and Golden State, I'm just so sick of every game, like, kind of Yeah, obviously the last game between Golden State and Houston was cool, but as far as the Boston-Cleveland series, like every game is a damn blowout at home. That's so frustrating to me as a basketball. I want to see some fun games. I want to see something fun, like, that's got me on the edge of my seat type thing.
But see, like, being a Bulls fan and sitting here...
Don't hurt my feelings.
I love the fact that every home game is a blowout, because if that stays true, we're not getting LeBron in the final.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind seeing LeBron in the final again.
Why? Because he's going to get swept again.
That's fine. 4
or 5, or he'll link out one here.
Well, that's fine. I'd rather see him lose, honestly. But no, I do want to see Brad Stevens in Boston get in there, because the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum thing, man, is just so intriguing to me. And even Marcus Morris playing so well, and Terry Rozier. I mean, God, there's so many stories on that team of people stepping up. It's like Tibbs' thing.
Aaron Baines was the X factor last night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, agree wholeheartedly. And you know what? No one's saying that either. Dude, grit, grind, rebounding. He played a damn good game last night. No one talking about him, though.
It's because he gets dunked on all the time. That's what most people know him for.
I think the funniest moment of game 4, was him getting a rebound in the paint and having the whole rim behind him to dunk, and everybody yelling at him to dunk in the paint.
Al Horford was screaming at him.
That's like the ultimate pickup game YMCA basketball moment when you grab a rebound and you don't know that anybody's behind you and you're looking for somebody to pass to, because you're that guy who just fills up rebounds and just defends people in the post because you're just this big guy who played football or something, and everybody's looking at you like you could just shoot, like it's a layup behind you. And then he ended up going to the free throw line. I think he made 2 on that too.
He did.
But
he cashed
to me,
in.
I was laughing on my couch with and my dad looks at me because he was on his phone and he goes, "Why are you laughing?" I go, "Watch the replay, because this guy gets the rebound under the basket, nobody around him, and he's looking for somebody to pass because his back's to the basket."
Sad story about my dad, man. He can't figure out how to work his TV to watch the games because he's got that stupid...
Should have got rid of cable.
Yeah, I told him not to get rid of cable. Now he's got that dumbass... What is it? That Gears box TV. If anybody's listening to this and you're looking into Gears TV, don't do it, because it's horrible. So my dad can't watch games anymore, so he just drinks his Ice House and goes and lays down. He can't handle it. But... Keith, man, we want to thank you so much for even taking the time to come on here with us tonight. It's been...
Yeah, man, this was fun.
Yeah, dude, I want to do this more in the future. Like
Danny, we kind of let Danny do his thing, but this is more roundtable. Cool.
Yeah, this
to
was
sit and talk. And
yeah, this was fantastic. I actually had a really great time.
No, I'm available just whenever you want me on. Let me know.
We'll definitely have you on to recap about the pick at 7-22, whatever happens in the draft, definitely. But who knows?
We'd love to have you on, too, for finals.
Yeah, some NBA final stuff.
Yeah, we'd love to. So if you have the time, man, I'll get with you. We've been in contact for a long time, so it's been pretty cool. But I'd love to have you on, for NBA finals breakdown or something like that.
I do have one last question for you, though, Keith. When are we going to get together and have some 3-1-2s so we could drink Goose with the Goose?
Oh, my fucking God. That's fantastic.
Well, I'm thinking of possibly the Bulls are having a draft party. I didn't go to the draft lottery party because 5 hours round trip for a half an hour show just didn't sound too logical to me. But the draft, that'll be longer. That'll be a bigger occasion. I believe it is on Weed Street
Joe's.
downtown.
Is it at Joe's?
Is it at Joe's?
Yes, it's at Joe's.
That's a great time.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Joe's on Weed Street. So if you guys wanted to meet up there, I'd definitely be down to have a couple drinks and celebrate or cry, whatever happens.
Absolutely.
Maybe do a Periscope right after for the show.
The draft is June 20 what?
21st.
There we go.
So literally 4 weeks from today.
So that's a Thursday, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so that's a
Thursdays.
I have to work. I have to work that Thursday. You know how I know that?
How?
Because the baby upstairs is getting baptized on that Sunday.
Well, you should figure a way out.
Oh, dude, I am totally trading with somebody. If Goose is coming down, you're gonna have Buzz, Juice, and Goose.
That's electric, right there.
That's electric. I'm going to get arrested, guaranteed. Guaranteed. But thank you.
I'm pretty good at not getting arrested, so I'll make sure that your baby and your baby mama don't have anybody not coming home to them.
Fantastic. I need you to take over that for me, all right? Because I get myself in trouble quite often.
Sounds good, guys.
All right, man. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for the
Keith.
time. That is Keith at Bulls Scripted. He is a real great guy, man. Real great to talk
was
to.
fun.
Yeah, that was great.
He is so knowledgeable, good to talk to. Obviously, when we had Danny on, Danny was...
We let Danny run.
We let Danny do his thing. But this was, like we said, was more roundtable. I could totally see us doing one of these in this basement with him.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Anybody, man.
Right. But, yeah, and if you guys want the opportunity to come on, you could donate at
Patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast.
And you guys, too, could talk with us. We keep bringing our guests in because we're trying to bring more information, different perspective, because you can only hear us so long talk about Michael Porter Jr. all the time, because obviously that's who we kind of both want. But that was some great draft. We could react on it for the next episode if you guys want us to and get our opinion on what Keith said. But I think a lot of what he said holds true what we've been saying.
Right. And the thing about him is, Goose, whatever, Keith, Bull Scripted. The thing about him is he's always clear on what he thinks is the best direction. There's no swaying back and forth, and I love that about him. And then another thing, you guys got to follow him. If you're watching us right now, and we're not even asking for follows for ourselves, at MVP Buzzweek,
at MVP Juice Man.
But we're not asking for follows. Go follow at Bulls Scripted, and also follow at the Bulls GM, Ryan Borgia.
Mm-hmm.
Those two guys, man, they have perfect insight on a lot of things, and it might differ from your opinion, but it's something that you read that you'll be like, you know what? Okay, I learned something. It's just, man, it's really great to keep growing like this and finding people that share the same interests with followings and doing all this stuff.
And it's a shot to us too. It's nice that we were able to make these contacts too, and people value what we say too. I know that you guys, and we're thankful to all our fans, commenting, subscribing to the page. We've had 1,000 followers. What was that, in a month?
Yeah,
we really upped it. MVP's killing it. Obviously, all the shows, the Fast Break, Primetime Podcasts, Onside Kicks, Rick and Johnny. Yeah, so we're killing it because of you guys. So we're gonna keep doing this as much as you guys want us to keep bringing awesome stuff, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it was a really good month for MVP. And I tell you, it couldn't happen to a better person. Ricky and Mark, they do a great job. They're running the place. They're doing a great job. We're just sending out our content, drinking some beer, and then calling it a day.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do nothing. I'm burnt out enough as it is.
But yeah, so that was Bulls Talk, a little NBA playoffs. Again, thanks to Keith. Follow him at Bulls Scripted. Interact
buddy.
with him because he interacts with you too. He's one of us.
Yeah.
He will tweet back at you, tell him how he feels about something you ask. And he's a good friend of the show. Obviously, you heard we're going to try to meet up with him at the draft party. I would love to do that. Joe's on Wheat Street's a great time. And if anybody else wants to go up to the draft party, I think I'm going to be there, at least from the crew. I might bring a couple buddies, maybe Tony, who writes for Sports Mockery. We'll go up there. At least you can meet the Juice, depending on if Buzz can get off.
I'm definitely gonna get off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
No, we're gonna try to be up there and have a couple drinks with Keith. And if you guys want to come up and meet Buzz and Juice, it'd be great to sit and actually talk to people.
That'd be actually fantastic, man. Let's plan for that. So I'm going to text after the show today. I'm going to text my boss, Matt, real great guy. I'm going to text him and see if he's down, if he can cover for me that day, or I can trade with somebody else or whatever. But if this is possible, June 21st at Joe's on Weed Street, Buzz and Juice are probably going to be there.
No, gonna be. Well, they're probably gonna be there. At least Juice will be there.
We're not promising yet, but we're going to be there. Hopefully Bull Scripted ends up showing up, man. Keith, Goose, and we'll hang out and have a couple drinks. You guys should come up, and if you're from around the Chicagoland area, it's gonna be a big day.
It will be.
So hopefully
good
we
or
can meet
bad.
up.
Either good or bad, like Keith said.
Exactly.